Hey guys, it's Woody the Unexceptional Gamer, and I grabbed the class here. This is the AUG. I grabbed it because it has Hardline Pro, and I expected the teams to be somewhat lopsided. So this video is not about the gameplay, but I will start talking off about it. The first thing in my opening round here is I shoot this barrel and I try to kill all my friends. There's two of us in this lobby, and I think we had beaten them pretty handily the game before, and had a good clue that that was going to happen again. So yeah, start off with some ugly aim here. But whatever, the score turns out fairly well. This video is not about the gameplay. Instead, I thought I would talk about me a little bit and my revenge-based vegetarianism. So I promise I will put out commentary that's about the game before too long. I've just done a lot of tips videos and none of these other commentary type videos lately, so I thought I'd throw this in here. Anyway, revenge-based vegetarianism. So I told this story on the podcast a long time ago, and so for those of you that have heard it, sorry about that, but I picked up like 120,000 subs since then. A lot of guys don't listen to the podcast, so I thought I'd tell it again. Where I work, there are a lot of guys from India, and these guys from India, they have a large population of vegetarians, and we would go out to lunch together all the time, and they had this to them, eating meat was not only was it gross, like straight up from that standpoint, but there was a morality play at it, and that was a mistake. I should have just shot the guy instead of concussionating him. But there was a morality play at stake, and that kind of appealed to me. And I was saying, like, well, it's okay to kill animals so long as you kill them for, like full function. Things that like what in American Indians would do. They would kill the buffalo, and then they would use their skin, their bones, eat the meat, all that whole 9 yards. And it seemed kind of moral to me. And they're like, the animal doesn't care what you do with it afterwards. The point is you're killing others when you don't really have to. So I thought about that, and I didn't really have a counter argument. And mind you, this is a long time ago. I'm going to say this is like, I don't know, 8 years ago. So it's not like just a passing fad with me. But I thought about it some more, this morality argument they were using around eating meat. And I came up with my own brand of vegetarianism, and I call it revenge-based vegetarianism. So the rules are fairly straightforward for revenge-based vegetarianism, and it pretty much means that I only eat things that, given the opportunity, would eat me. So some of the easiest ones are like, would I eat a crocodile or a lion? Yeah, absolutely. Everyone kind of gets that if I'm strolling along the plains of the Serengeti, then the lion is going to eat me. That's what he does. That's how he rolls. And that's pretty straightforward. But then there are other things on my clear to eat list that take a little more explaining. So, as an example, fish, right? Every fish I have ever met, and by the way, I met a lot of fish. I kept a saltwater reef tank for a long time. I kept a lot of freshwater fish. I feel like I know fish. Every fish I've ever met, given the chance, would eat me. So, let's pretend that a goldfish was 250 feet long. Goldfish would swallow you up without giving it a second thought. Goldfish aren't really known for their great minds, so yeah, goldfish would swallow you up in a heartbeat. They wouldn't think twice about it. But I could go on. Let's take something like I don't know, say a sheep. A sheep? He wouldn't eat you. If you took a sheep and made him a whole lot bigger than he is, he would probably start eating trees, and he wouldn't pay much attention to me. Sheep conceivably have the opportunity to eat other things, like maybe rats or mice. I know they're kind of quick, but let's just roll with this here. Ducks, but they don't. They leave those things alone. And so given the opportunity, if I were to take a sheep and blow him up to the size where I was the size of a mouse, relatively speaking, sheep would still leave me alone. They're just relatively kind animals. And fish, birds, oh my gosh, all birds are mean. Now stick with me here. I have never met a nice bird. I have met birds like indoor parrots and stuff, and they always come with warnings from their owner. Don't, he's only nice to me. He only likes one person. Don't get ever stick your finger in the cage at the pet store? Every parrot I've ever seen, it comes with a sign that says, don't put your fingers in this cage. If a parrot were much, much larger, he would eat me. He would just gnaw me. He would kill me. Those cute looking geese and ducks you see at the park? Go pet one. I dare you. Go ahead. Walk up to a goose and give it a little pet. Because see a swan? Try giving your swan a hug. at the local park. You know, sure, he seems kind enough when you drop in your breadcrumbs by the water's edge, but you try to give a swan a hug, and you'll meet a whole new swan there, and he will he will attempt to rip you limb from limb. Now, I'm a full-size guy. I'm like 6 foot tall. I'm not going to get beat up by a swan. I hope that'd be awfully embarrassing, but. Having said that, if you were to take me and shrink me to 6 inches, or take the swan and enlarge him to, say, 200 feet, then I'd be in a world of hurt. And this is true with almost every bird that I can think of. So, having said that, birds are on my safe-to-eat list. So let's talk about what we've covered so far. Lions, tigers, crocodiles, birds, and fish. Those are all safe to eat. Now, I know the question on everybody's mind is, well, what about cows? You know, cows are a big part of an American diet, and what are you going to do about the cow? The answer is, I don't eat cows. Have you ever been mean to a cow? Have you ever, met a cow up close? They're sweet, and cows are large. Cows are faster than you are, and they're stronger than you are, and I don't know anyone that's been hurt by a cow. That's not how it goes down. And you might say, well, what about bulls? And the answer I have there is, and maybe someone in my audience can help me here, I don't think bulls are what we eat. I think we mostly eat the female cows. And even if I'm wrong on that, cows aren't falling into my mean category. I've never met one. I've met, when I was a kid, there was a cow by a restaurant. And it was like a restaurant / petting farm, kind of a funny situation. And he was a client of my father's. My father's an accountant, and he had trouble paying his bills. So we used to go there for dinner, and then take that off the tab that he ran up with the accounting firm. And it was just an arrangement they had. So we ate there a lot. And he had a restaurant / petting farm. And we used to go, and we would there. So what am I, 35 and 2 with 5 flag caps? Not bad. But yeah, so we would go and we pet, and the cow would suck your thumb if you put your hand too close to its mouth. But he would just suck on it like it was a baby's bottle, and it was the sweetest thing. And if you find a handful of cows, or if you stand in the middle of a range of dairy cows, you have never been safer. They will not bug you one bit. So I don't eat cows, and that's it. You can take this what you've learned so far, apply it to revenge-based vegetarianism. If it's big and it still won't hurt you, then you leave it alone. If it's small, but if it were large by chance, right? If nature was built differently and it would kill you, then chomp away. Chocolate-covered mosquitoes are good to go.